I'm Shmelky Diamond, and this is Sorry, Not Sorry. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of Sorry, Not Sorry. I am Shmelky Diamond, and I have with me today a very, very special guest. I've been looking forward to this interview for a really long time, since actually before I started the podcast. Somebody who, if you're in Monroe or any of that area, I'm sure you all know. And if you're not in Monroe, you'll get to know. We are going to talk, we have a lot to talk about, and so little time. Okay, yeshiva time, business, all the things about life. People ask me, what is this podcast about? 4 episodes in, it's about life and kind of the journey of where that takes you. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Duvid Leib Kraus, esteemed realtor, Talmud Chacham, and whatever else I want to say. So here you go, Duvid. Right.
Hello, Shmelky. Thank you so much for bringing me up. And first of all, got already paid up for getting such a nice introduction. I'm a Talmud Chacham, etc., etc. Wow. On my end, I can already put down the phone. I mean, you
Well,
made my day already.
thank you, and thank you for bearing with me, because it's really, really hard running a studio yourself. It's really, really hard. So I guess what I like to do with my guests is to sort of introduce them from my side, and then hear, like, explain my experience with them, my history with them, and then kind of hear, their version in their life. So I'm going to take it back to 2014, 2015, when I started in Queens Yeshiva. The famous story of me getting out of the car and walking out, and I'm in the colored shirt and the little kippah saruga, and the bucherim come over to me, and they say Shalom Aleichem, and I answer Aleichem Shalom. That's like the only Yiddish I knew then. And their next question in that Williamsburg English was, "You're the new bus driver?" And right, we all know that famous song. I said, "I'm here to be a Satmar Bucher." But anyway, one of those Bucherim who I met very early on was somebody from Antwerp named Duvid Kraus, Duvid Leib Kraus. And I really didn't know much about you, other than the fact that you became my friend very, very, very quickly and very early on. I knew that you came from a rabbonim family back in Antwerp, and then, gosh, maybe like a year or 2 in, you became a chusin. I remember you became a chusin pretty early on. I was at your Bavarfen back when it was Elam Eckstein, and then I was at your chasana. And, I just kind of remember after you got married, I was still a bucher, and I kind of, went on, and you went on, you live in Queens Yeshiva. I was still in, the Long Island, the city at that point. So I kind of only knew peripherally, like, what you were doing, what you were up to. And then, years go by. I get married and decide to buy a home, a property in Kiddisville for an investment. And I don't even know where I knew it from. Honestly, I don't remember, but I kind of remember hearing that you were a realtor. Um, Maybe we had spoken once before then, and I'd called up a bunch of places actually. You don't know this, so I guess time to learn new things, right? Um, I called up a lot of these new developments that, now they're kind of like trying to sell to everybody. But, back then everything was like top secret, and you couldn't, they didn't want anybody to know what was going on. And it was like buying a house was so difficult back then. So funny how the world changed. Um, and I got to you, and I was like, to me, okay, cool. This Hamish kid I know from Yeshiva, and Abunisha guy is a realtor, and but I didn't know anything of it. And of course, you found me the property that I now live in, Baruch Hashem. So first of all, thank you for being my friend early on. It was not easy for me. I'm sure you can imagine, but
My
going,
pleasure.
yeah, going into that situation was actually really scary, exciting but scary too. But thank you for the courage of, going outside your horizons of what you knew, especially coming from such I hate to use the word closed, but I would say, I guess I'd use the word, n- well, how would you call it? Not a narrow-minded background, but a place where there weren't like all types of people, in Antwerp, in Rabbonische Antwerp, Hasidisch Antwerp. Uh, so yeah,
So,
and
well, actually, you'll be surprised what I'm gonna tell you.
okay,
That I think I was the only bucher in the yeshiva back then who was not afraid to talk to a stranger, and for sure not like a Balchiva kind of guy, because all of my Zaydis, either my mother's side and either my father's side, were all will their blood and how you say it in Yiddish, Blit and Fleisch, were
flesh
like
and blood,
dealing with Yiddish and Neshumas who looking for from some Yiddish light. For example, my Zaidi Stober, he's still alive. He should live until 120. He lives in Antwerp, and he has every Seder three 365 days a year. I mean, like every Shabbos meal, he has guests, no matter where they are, if they want to get to guide them or if they want to get like back um to Yiddishkeit, they're looking for some light. And I remember as a kid, I used to go to Mazaidi's Cider, and he was telling the story of Mitzrayim in I think in 5 languages. Believe me or not,
wow, wow,
he was talking in Yiddish, in English, and in French, and sometimes in the
Flemish
Dutch,
probably, no?
Flemish, the local language. And sometimes he needed to use like a little Lushan Kodesh slash if people came from which didn't talk any other language besides Hebrew. So I was really Heimish with that kind of kirov. So in the other side, my Zaydish Kraus, which my aunts, I think, from Williamsburg, and
You know
so
what?
was
It
my
just occurred to me that you are Einikel from Shmuel Kraus. Alav Shalom.
yeah. So he was a big kirov guy.
Yeah.
He lived in a lot of places. And in Los Angeles, he made a lot of Balchivas. Even the Rivnitzer was amazed how he's doing it. He once met with him. And yeah, it's still in my blood. And that's why I was happy to meet you. And I think also big he was involved in our friendship because Abi Goldberger,
Abi Goldberger,
he
yeah,
was my he was my chavrisa. So
oh,
he
okay.
knew you before, I think.
Yes, so backtrack a little bit. So, okay, how did I get to Queens? Through this Abi Goldberger. Who is Abi Goldberger? The summer before I got into the yeshiva, like the summer that I got interested in Satmar in general, I was working on 47th Street. I had a summer job, and Mr. Goldberger was one of the bosses in the company. Um, you know, Instantly became like family, still like family to this day. And his son Abi was in the yeshiva, and I kind of knew that going in, I would have at least one, bucher to kind of guide me a little bit. Um, and yes, Abi introduced us. I actually now remember that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
Yes.
he was my chavrisa, and Abi is the maybe I'll later tell a little bit about me. He was the one who made me aware that I'm able to study by myself Gemura, and I don't have to. He was, I think, my first Masechta, my first scene was with Abi. We did it in our dormitory room. I don't remember if you joined that siyum. It was on I think Masechta's Rosh Hashanah. Yeah, Abi's a big tzaddik.
Yeah, for sure. I no, I don't remember that, but Avi is a huge tzaddik. So, okay, back to back to you. Um, so you sold me my house, and so I was going to say thank you for being my friend back then, and thank you for getting me my house. Um,
Or
that Yeah, so
My
fast
pleasure.
forward.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about moving, but we'll get something because right now I think if I move again, it'll be into like the Baisachayim or something. It's not
No,
easy
no,
to
no, don't
move,
say that.
Kulila. Um,
Kulila.
but so Duvid Leib Kraus today, I just want to kind of put this into context, is literally the like biggest and most well-known realtor in the Hasidic world. A lot of, I hate to say this, sorry, not sorry, right? A lot of
Hmm.
people say they're in real estate and actually like don't do anything because like I'm in real estate. No, 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 no. He's actually in real estate and he's the biggest. And the thing that's amazing about David Leib is that first of all, he's professional. About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we were looking at something, to buy. My parents came up, and my parents are very, very, white collar, by the book people. And, he's just so thorough and he understands the industry so well that he can deal with any kind of clientele. The other thing about him that is so amazing is his dedication to his clients, right? That he'll answer a phone call at 10 o'clock at night and whether you're dealing with him for a one-bedroom apartment or, a $3 million house on Seven Springs, he'll give you that same level of service, attention, just being your advocate. Um, and that's why he's so big. So tell me about, how do you get from coming from this incredibly chushev mishpucha, and you're right, I totally forgot like the dynasty of where you come from, of just how kind and giving those people are. How do you get from that into the business world? But at the same time, what I just what I think is so amazing and inspirational about you is you completely keep your Hasidishkeit and your Frömmkeit and you know truly the Platsche Biberet. I mean, I love it. And like, how did all that happen?
So I'll try to make a little summary. First of all, you say I'm the biggest realtor. I mean, I'm excited to hear that, but main thing that I'm not even focusing to be the biggest at all. I mean,
Okay, you're the biggest to me. Can we go?
yes, I mean, so basically, as you say, uh, it's I don't know where to start. So wait, tell me how to start. What do you want to hear first?
So how did you, I mean, how you got married, you go into Koilel. I'm sure how many kids did you have before you left Koilel, if I may ask?
So the story is as follows. I started in the so let me you know what let me start from the beginning. I was born in 1996 in Antwerp, and I'm the fourth in my family, and fourth child in family. I have two brothers older than me, and I have my oldest sister. And I was growing up a very a hyper child, like a gesinnter boy. And then I I got pious. I went to Cheder and started learn the olive berries and everything. And my parents start seeing that I'm always behind the school. I was always when the whole class was already reading Ivra, I was back there at, like much
Really?
much behind. Yeah, always my whole childhood. I was my father and mother. I'm coming down the world. They were spending. They never had money. My
Wow.
father was a surfer. He still is. And my mother was like sometimes subs teaching, but nothing major. But not they never took a no for an answer to make sure that they're. By then they called me Libela. I was a small child. Always making sure that I'm getting back on track. And they teach. They had like I had the private teachers like every day in school and even in Yiddish and also in the Flemish, the local language. I had like private tutors,
Oh,
and
wow.
they kept on going to like back then it wasn't like today, we're sophisticated. Thanks to Hashem that you can diagnose kids what's going on quicker and then solve the problem much sooner. So my no one could have diagnosed what's going on with him. He's so smart, he's brilliant, and somehow when it gets to the Gemara, or it gets to Chimish in Ivrit, he's so back there. What's going on with this child? But they gave me the extra love and the extra patience to show me that I'm the same than all other kids. And even though my younger brothers were coming home with like Toyoters and they were like up to date and I was not the best. But since I had my parents back, I was feeling comfortable enough to stay part of the family. Not that I'm the how you
The
call
black
it, like
sheep, the
the
black sheep.
yeah, exactly.
So I want to just bring out two things. First of all, it sounds like your parents, for sure the Crow side, because I know that I can be the witness for that. They don't take no for an answer. They're very determined, right? And that's probably where you got it from. Um,
Yeah, but it's also definitely my mother much stronger. She was like always on top to make sure, and she still is, and she's always like telling me she's praying for me, and she's like the best mother ever, and
I actually think
I'm
I met her.
still
I remember by your offer if I went over and I told her, "Oh, you have such an amazing son. He was my friend," and I remember doing that. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
reminding
makes sense.
myself now. Makes sense. I would do something like that. A little crazy.
But let me get to quickly to my wedding, like to till I got married. So basically, and so they're trying to do the best. I should keep up to get to the back to the class. Was like all tests in the class wasn't like no to me. And then in February 2009, I got bar mitzvah, and so since I was like back there in Kita test, my parents were like the class the rabbonim and the principals were like, I don't know, he's like kind of wasting the time in school and he can't keep up. So sometimes I did some trouble, I was like the kid who don't have the patience to sit in class, and they couldn't like diagnose what's going on with him. So then they decided they're gonna send me to yeshiva in Williamsburg. It was in 2009 in May, like right after Pesach.
Wow.
They put me in a special yeshiva in Williamsburg, and there they diagnosed me with dyslexia. Nothing major, but a little bit,
No,
like
that's
they, but
hard. That's hard.
yeah, like so late in the game. But they got the right connections with a company in New Square. I don't know if they're still open or not. And I did the right therapy for for around 2 years. So since then, I was changing a lot of yeshivas back and forth, and but I was always, I was the geschmack bucher, but when it comes to studying and everything, I'm not the guy, you know. It's not my part. So
Back.
then,
Yeah.
after I think it was in 2011, yeah, 2011, my father sent me to London on a yeshiva. So there I was for like 3.5 years or 4 years, almost 4 years. And so then after then, my father told me that he thinks I'm ready to go to Queens. So I'm jumping like it was like a lot of pain and a lot of good parts, when so before I went into Queens, I decided it is what it is. I'm a Bucher like all Bucheram, and I'm going to make it happen. I made my decision either walking right or walking left. So I'm
Right.
still remembering where I stand. That time I made my decision myself. I don't know who gave me this. It was from Hashem, this wisdom. I decided I'm going to make it, no matter what's gonna cost me, how much blood is gonna, you know. But and then I came into Queens. And my father told me that he's still gonna hire like a private teacher to catch up with the shiram and everything. And with Hashem's help, I had a really good magachir. He's actually now my first cousin from my wife's side. Lando, you remember him? The son of
Um,
you and the Lando son. He's a item. He's an item by the big magachir Hershkovich.
I don't know. It's 11 o'clock at night. My head stops working.
Exactly. No, he's Shibai, so maybe you don't remember him.
Oh,
So, but basically, I
you
offered
said
him a
he
lot of good.
died? What?
No, 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 no. He's an item. He's an
Oh,
item
I
by the.
didn't.
No, no,
Sorry.
no.
Okay, yeah.
Chavashur.
You see, yeah. This is why I don't at 11 o'clock. Okay, Baruch Hashem, he's alive and well. Good.
No, so I'm not mentioning any names. I mentioned him because I have so many people in my how you call it, in my history, who I'm coming such a big thank you. Akura Satov, I say appreciation, but it's not the time now to mention everyone. So basically, then I just decided that nothing is wrong with me. Yeah, and it's still today. And every morning I'm waking up, and I'm not just not a regular person. I'm even better than everyone. So when I married, I got a really good shidduch because of that, because I settled myself, like a self-standing man.
Yeah.
And I married in August 2015 to Kiddush Yoel, and I went to Koil until after Sikkas. Like I married before, like an Oof.
Wow.
So I was in Koil for 1 month, and after Sikkas, one day my sugar calls me up, the broker of MK Realty where I work still today, and he tells me that he needs a part-time secretary, like a male like me, someone who should handle his phone calls and mainly the rental department, and he thinks that I'm the right candidate. So I told him, listen, I'm still in Koil, and but if you want, I mean, so he said, you know what, I'll talk to my tati, I mean my shver, yes, and I'll make sure that he's okay with that. So he called me up a day after that. Yes, he is okay with that. And like you'll in the morning you'll be in Koil, in the afternoon you'll come work by me. So that's how it started. So it
Wow.
started in it was still the end of 2015. Yeah, because the end of 2025 got 10 years. I'm in the same line. So I started to work at
Mazel
MK.
tov.
Yes, at that time, and I started as a secretary, and I did tasks and everything, and followed, and then I started little doing rentals, in-house rentals. At that time, I didn't have any license, but I did like local local stuff.
So can I interrupt for a second because I have a lot
Sure.
of listeners who are not Heimish to Monroe and who don't really know what it is. So, like again, as I said before, everybody's in real estate. It's easy to say, but MK is literally the preeminent broker in Kiryas Yoel. For almost every builder, you hear these massive projects. MK is the default realtor. Um, they have, uh, I can't imagine with all of the new construction, thousands of listings. It would be in the secular world, it would be like the equivalent of Douglas Elliman, So that's kind of where we're standing. And back to Duvid Leib. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, I think after 3 years, I don't have the exact date, so I decided to get on my own, and basically I switched by then from wage, like to be assistant of my sugar, to get on my own
Commission.
license,
Yeah, commission.
and then I switched to commission, and then it started rolling until today, B'siyata Dishmaya. And you ask why people like to deal with me. I think the reason is because first of all, a lot of people is telling me that's why I can repeat it, that I'm people see that I'm a European and I don't have the hitzige American blood. I'm always very patient when people like someone deals with me, and I'll never push a client into a deal. I'll rather wait another 24 hours. They should sleep on it, and I think you can witness that because you dealt with me.
Actually, for me, I remember I was really schlepping because I mean I am probably one of the hardest clients to deal with because I can't make decisions.
No,
Um,
no, I had harder ones. Don't worry.
oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, you
And
weren't so hard. No,
but I remember that you were like, "Look, I'm not forcing you," but it got to a point where it was like you've just got to like this is the right thing for you. You've got to get
yeah,
over your
sure.
fear.
Sometimes
But
I need to make clarity and convince that when I see someone is
it
just like
wasn't
in
convincing.
limbo,
It was just like it was making me realize like
comfortable.
one of my big issues is kind of confronting fear and walking through that fear. And you did that with me. And I want to circle back to one other thing I wanted to ask you, about your little kleine Duvid. Growing up for you home, it sounds like it was a very safe place for you. Is that fair to say?
What do you mean at home?
Yeah, you felt very safe. And I don't mean physically. I mean like mentally, emotionally, it was a safe place.
Correct. Sure. Very safe.
So you felt safe within yourself growing up.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Because I think that part of in dealing with you, what I kind of just, love is that um you are safe. You make a client feel safe that they can trust you, that you have their back. There's just something so personal about it.
I I can agree. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean I don't know if that comes from your childhood or whatever, but that's something that I think like for me
No,
safety is a
I think it comes because I'm a self-made man.
right,
I mean,
right, but to get to that point, don't you think that like that feeling of being safe in your own body, in your own skin, that came from the way you were raised of okay, I'm going to be normal and I'm going to be like everybody else and it doesn't matter, right?
no,
Like
it also came because I got very young, mature. I'll explain what it means. So by the 13-year old, I needed to say goodbye for all my siblings and for my parents, and I traveled all over like the other side of the sea to the other side of the wall to New York, and I went to yeshiva. What it means. I'm trying to imagine. Sometimes I'm looking on a nephew. He's just
no, no, no,
got,
no. I
uh,
can yeah, I know what that means because I
and it
mean,
was really painful for me. Like
wow.
I can promise you, there was some days I couldn't even open my mouth because I was so homesick. And I think this is the recipe of my success. This true honest that it made me so mature that I can see today like um um people they're living in the father's house in the parents' house until they're marrying them they're getting married, and all of a sudden they're moving from Borough Park to Muncie let's say because they need to move because their wife's living family living in Muncie, for example.
Yeah.
They're still like kind of a baby because they still need a mother. For me, it was already like working out that part. You know what I mean?
You had to grow up really quickly. Yeah. Yeah. Um
Yes.
my wife left home when she was 11 to go to Pinsk, which I
So she can understand me. I mean that
absolutely.
that, that makes a person really mature really quick, and
Yeah.
later on
Yeah.
in life, it really helps.
Yes, 100%. I mean, it helps, but I think there's also a part of it, and it's kind of like good for us because I'm exactly what you're talking about, like that person who never grew up, and she had to grow up really early. So, I think it's hard because I think either way you're going to miss something, but in general, it is better to be more independent. But it
Yes,
also
exactly. The
sounds
word is
like
independent.
Baruch Hashem, you had a really good stable background to kind of get you to that place. So, in terms of dealing with your clients, you know, how do you deal with difficult clients and how do you deal with no and rejection and because that's part of it, right?
Oh yeah. So that's a part of my business, and I'm always thinking that I'm blessed that I started so early. So today I'm already immune, like to the ups and downs. You know, when someone coming up to my age, a guy, and he's like was working for a company, he got like a weekly wage and everything. Like he had some pressure in the business that let's say he's a manager or something, and he asked me, "You think I should get a realtor and like a or any kind of salesperson?" I said, it's so hard to deal with family, to deal with everything, and also to be your own boss and to start so late in the game. It's really, really a big struggle. I can imagine it. I mean, I
I'm
see other
laughing
people.
because that's what I'm dealing with now, actually going into hopefully my next venture, which is, investment management. But yeah, it is really, really hard rebooting at age 31 and going from being a wage earner, a salaried employee to having to build a book of business. And,
Correct, correct.
especially, yeah,
Because most of realtors who clients are running away because the client feels that the realtor is not here to help me. He is here to finish the deal and walk away and get his check at closing and forget about me. By me, Baruch Hashem, I think 99.9% of clients are not feeling that way because I'm already so immune and I know my focus that one client is maybe 50 clients because he has a mouth and he has family and he has friends and he gonna refer other clients. So this is what keeps me focused, keeps me calm, and even sometimes it's really hard, and I wanna get pissed off, but I know that tomorrow I gonna forget, but he's not gonna forget about me, and either he's gonna tell that don't touch Kraus, he's crazy, or no, absolutely, we had a crazy challenge and he handled it right, and definitely I will recommend him. So this is my focus always. Sometimes it's really hard, but yeah, I'm trying to go with this line always, and only with B'siyata D'Shmaya, with Hashem's help, we're getting we here where we are.
do you have clients outside of the Hasidic world?
Um, yes, but not so many. I actually dealt with someone not in our community at all. I mean, he's Jewish, but and he was like also because he wanted to open a business in KJ, and he was really happy for me a few years ago. And actually, this Sunday, I got a referral from him, which I'm already in serious talk with them for another company he wants to open in the neighborhood, like a business. And they told me that they got recommended from him because he was really, really happy. So that's such a client is like one of my best clients. Even the commission, I don't know how big the commission is gonna be here, but it shows that what I was telling you, it's just coming back to you.
Right, right. Um, so for people who are going into sales, what what would you say to them, going into it now? If somebody needs that. If somebody, you know, what chizuk can you give for that? And actually, we're just going to take a little bit of a break here, but we'll be right back. And if you can answer that question, that would be great. When we pick up.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back to Sorry Not Sorry. Duvid Kraus with me for episode 4. Sorry, folks, it is just a technical issue, one of those Tuesday nights. Okay, so yeah, so for somebody like me who wants to go into sales now, I mean, what advice, what chizuk can you give me? Come on, like I need a lot of that.
So first of all, if someone wants to go into sales in those days for sure, First, what I can tell you, you are a hero. It's really hard those days, and people just want to see the paycheck to paycheck, and you decided to go and be a salesman. That means you are thinking out of the box. And second of all, sky is the limit, and you have to remember this every morning when you wake up after Nagelwasser, that you have potentials which other people do not have. And the main thing which keeps me every day that don't think about today, think about tomorrow, think about next year, think about 2 years from now, which means someone um, met me, I think it was the middle of the winter by a wedding. He comes up to me, says, I want to ask you a question. I don't know if you're going to answer me. So I said, go ahead. I said, he told me, I know you're ready for, I think, over 10 years. And sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, go. Yeah.
So I know you over 10 years, and I think whenever um, you still work at the same place, you're still walking around with the same smile. How 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 are you doing that? So shit, I decided when I joined the line that first of all, I love it. I have a passion about my line. Second of all, I figured that only with patience I will get to the next level. People are losing their patience and they're jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping. Unfortunately, they'll never succeed because nobody nobody gets to the Seder at Shulchan Aruch. It needs to go Kadash, Irchat, Karpas, the whole Seder to get to the meal. The same thing is in every line. No matter if you work for someone or you're doing your own stuff, you're doing your own business, nothing is gonna happen overnight. That
It's funny
keeps me
because you
also
say
very strong.
patience. I was reading a book actually today, and somebody was saying how, they were praying and said, "Please, please, give me patience. Please, just give me patience and make it quick."
Yes, and this exactly you interesting that you mentioned it before. I wanted to tell it that the main thing who drives me is that I figured it out when I was really young, when I went through all the struggles. And my parents teached me very well that the only one who's going to help you is Hashem. He understands any language and any situation, wherever you are. Just stay in the side, in your car, talk to him. You can talk in whichever language you want, and he will listen to you. I see it still today, and I'm proud of it. Sometimes people look at me, oh, really? I mean, I know people are praying, but yes, before every meeting, before every phone call, I'm standing the side. I'm telling him, please give me success. I want to succeed in this one. Show me that you love me. Even not, I know you know, I know you have my back, but and I'm keeping up telling this to people, yes. And if people are saying me, you Breslov? No, I'm not. I want to be Breslov. I'm not at that step yet, but it's not a Breslov thing. It's a Yiddish thing. What's the difference between a Yid and a secular guy? The Yid has someone where to go to, whatever matzav it is, whatever, no matter what's going on, and you can talk to him and even sometimes like with you can say, why Hashem, why you doing it to me? Please, I wanna see results, and he likes it. He likes it. He likes to. He wants to give us, but he wants first we should ask for.
So I love this. I didn't expect it to go in this direction, but I love that it did because I have had a lot of health stuff in the last, oh, I don't know, 3 years, but the last few weeks especially, it's like putting your foot to the pedal of like a Ferrari and just zooming and like everything keep going. Okay, what else? What else? What else? I Yeah, yeah. So I actually forgot to mention that to you. And I was thinking to myself, because it all started a few weeks ago that I had to get a scan for my liver. My numbers were a little bit high. They've been high in the past, and that's partially genetics, and then also because I have to take a lot of medication to, manage. Um, and then I got this really horrible, like, uh, like viral cold thing, and because I have a neurological central nervous disease, I can't tolerate pain. So, like a common cold for somebody else becomes like for me, like getting beaten up or hit by a car or something.
Oh
And it
my.
just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I couldn't breathe. And so I went to Shield yesterday, or I think Friday, and I said, like I know that we don't ask questions, and I really always thought that you're not supposed to ask why if you have a minute, right? Um, y-
Yeah.
you know, and I've always said like it's not because I heard it in a art, and it's true though. It's like it's not why me, it's why not me. Like, yes, it sucks that I have to deal with this, but I know that I'm in a better position than 99% of the world, Baruch Hashem. So, like, I guess I'm better equipped to deal with this. But then I said, you know what? For the first time, I'm mad. I'm angry. And, because it was like 3 weeks of being sick. And I was like, you know what? There are so many people out there who, like, people who I don't like, who I think are actually like worse people than me. Like, why don't they ever get sick? And it's horrible to say that, but it's true. Like, the person who, pushed me out of my old job, not my boss who listens to this, my former boss. I love you, Aziz. But whoever it was, people in life, stamazoi, relationships, people who just hurt other people, like, why don't they have to go in 5 days a week for medical treatment? Like, why do I have to? And I was laughing because these are things that if you're like a person of faith and we're not only Orthodox but Hasidic Jews, so we're supposed to be the holiest of holy. We're not supposed to talk like that. But on the other hand, I think that Hashem actually likes when we get angry because it shows that our connection is real. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
It,
I I I I I don't know if I saw this Dvar Torah or I made it up myself, but it's real true. You know, you say there's always a saying that in the Torah there's no even one extra word. You know, everything is written. It's for a purpose. Yeah.
right.
So the story with Rivka and Yitzchak is that they didn't have children for a long time. Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm okay to say a small Torah, just to
Yeah,
bring
of
out what you
course, of course,
just
of
said.
course,
You should understand.
of
So
course.
Rivka was going. The parsha there says that Rivka was going to one corner of the house, and Yitzchak was going to the other corner of the house, and they were both praying to get a child. And like one pusik after is said that I forgot the words out of my head. So we said that there was already like news, yes. Oh, it's Abuna Bekirba, and and she said like Im Kain Lomo Ze'anochi, because she was there's a lot of truth in why she said it, but it said like why if there's gonna be one Isov and one Yaakov, why do I need it, right?
Yeah, right. After she,
So I
yeah.
was thinking to me, come on, like you were begging for kids for so many years. Finally, Hashem is giving it to you, and you're complaining? Are you real? How does it mean? How in the world can it mean for such a the holy of the holiest, Rivke Maini? So then I think it's my own Torah, but maybe I found it somewhere. You know, in Yiddish you say the zikurin is a ganef, like the mind is like stealing. Sometimes that you don't remember. But let's get back to the point. And like right after the end of the that pasuk, it say um "Ataylich liderches Hashem." Even after she complained, she went to pray to Hashem. Like so I say I'm saying always with people from this story from Rivka, you can see that it's okay to complain to Hashem. It's okay.
Right.
But after complaining, you say, regardless, I have no idea what's going on. You are driving the world, and I'm in your hands, and I'm happy whatever you do. But we can ask to see the Hasudim. I don't understand. Make me understand, and make me feel comfortable.
Or maybe make it go away, please.
Yes,
And
exactly.
and by the way, this is first of all, that was a beautiful Torah, and that is coming from somebody who 15 minutes ago or a half hour ago said that they struggled their entire life as a learner in yeshiva. So this is a testament to um, how strong you are, and my gosh, just how inspirational it is. You know,
Yes, it all was because I decided from one day to the other that I'm a normal boy. Nothing is missing from me, and I don't care what it was in the past. And I'm telling it now for every young listener if you have young listeners like underage who's still struggling with their struggles, the second you're going to decide that you are an average, normal, like in your community, wherever you are, even though you had some issues in the past, even though you're going something through now, but you are successful, you're going to succeed, and you're going to get wherever you want to get.
wow. I didn't even know this about you. None of this actually. And that's why I love the introduction and then like finding out the other side of the person because I just know the tip of the iceberg. This is why we actually have to meet up more often and we live in the same town and almost never see each other, which is totally, totally unacceptable. But
Agree,
you
absolutely.
are you are amazing. Thank you so much for coming on today. And you know, like I said, my whole thing is kind of sorry not sorry is about people standing up for who they are and people fighting the dominant narrative that they can't succeed or that they're different or that they're underish, they're other. Um, and it's about inspiration. And every time I speak to you, I get more and more inspired. So 11 years strong. Thank you, David Leib, and all my listeners for all your real estate needs. Duvid Kraus or on Zillow, David Kraus with MK Realty. Have a
Yes,
great night. Thank you so much.
my pleasure. Thank you for bringing me up, and I hope it will bring you some momentum. I don't know, whatever you want.
Oh man, I hope it brings chizuk to a lot of people because it brought chizuk to me. So thank you. See, I don't have to pay
Thank
for
you.
therapy. I could just do this. That's it. You see?
Exactly.
Thank
Okay, thank
you.
you so much. We'll be
You
in touch.
too. Gute Nacht.
Good night.